What's going on today, guys? Sticks10 here, and we are taking a look at my Kingdom Cup tournament that I participated in. Well, let's take a look at my team first. We've got Lucario, Steelix, Blastburn Charizard with Dragon Claw, of course. We've got Altaria, Blaziken, obviously no Stone Edge on it, and Frostlass. With Shadow Ball Avalanche. Definitely a deadly threat. Watch that other video if you haven't already on it. Let's jump into the first match. He's running Lucario, Alolan Marowak, Flygon, Altaria, Steelix, and Melmetal. So first off, I know my Steelix is going to do pretty good against a number of these. Either have favorable matchups or at least do really well against most of them. So we're definitely bringing that. And then Lucario and then Charizard is also probably a solid choice since it's going to counter several of his mons. Likely he may not bring some of those. So we're actually going to start off. Here we go. We're going to start off with Lucario. Definitely a risk to start the first game that way because we don't know what he's going to bring. It could be something that counters us pretty hard. And so if we take a look, and he actually brings Altaria. So that is definitely something we don't want to see, but we can get to that before he can get to his first move. So we built up that, bring in Steelix. Steelix can tank whatever he brings in. But he brings in Lucario, so now we've got to hit some. Let's see, hit some crunches here. See if he can. He's gonna tank those, or what's gonna happen here. We do use a shield. It could have been a mistake there. We don't necessarily need to shield that. We could just go down and because we may go down to fast moves, but we do get another crunch off. So he's got to waste a shield, or his Lucario might go down. So there we go. We did get 2 shields, and we have 1 left. He does have quite a bit of energy built up, so we are going to block that because it could be, and it is Shadow Ball. So good prediction there from us. It is 0-0 shields now with his Lucario being down, and we have a full energy slate there. So we hit Blast Burn right away. We don't know what's coming in. So he doesn't block that, obviously. He doesn't have any shields. We have no Protect shields. This is going to take us out. What might have been better there is to hit a double Dragon Claw, but we didn't know what was coming in. So here's this guy attacking. We go down for the count. So we do lose the first game. Definitely the Lucario lead did not help us, and then this mistake of shielding on that Steelix wasn't really necessary. We could have saved that shield for later. So let's go in. We know kind of what his team makeup is now. How we could have done better, obviously, is if we led with Steelix in that match, I think we would have done a lot better. And so we're going to lead with Steelix this time. Keep the same back two, because Charizard, if he changes anything up, does counter quite a few of his. And Lucario is just overall a good mon. We'll see what he ends up doing here. Jake is an awesome PvP player. He has won, I believe he won the Twilight Cup that I attended a couple months ago. Or Tempest, I don't know, it's Twilight he won. So definitely a good PvP player to rank in the first round. I've never played him before, but I know he's pretty good. So he leads with the Alolan Marowak. This is a positive matchup for our Steelix because we can just do crunches, and Steelix is pretty tanky and can tank a lot of the bone clubs, even though he is going to get, he actually saved up a little bit, so he's not going to hit bone club right away, it looks like, and he might hit it here. There he goes. This is definitely a bone club, I believe. Yes, there it is. And so it is super effective, but you can see it didn't do a whole lot. He wasted his shield. He gets out of there, brings in Flygon. Flygon actually isn't a bad matchup for us. It's not ideal because he can get to Earthquake so quick, but we do have energy advantage here, so we can use a shield, and then we can hit another. So it was a Dragon Claw. We didn't need to shield that. So either I miscounted or I didn't and think about what it could be, obviously. So there we go, and he gets off another one. We're going to let this one go through and just tank us. It was Earthquake, so he used all of his energy that he had. Flygon does get to that Earthquake super fast, so just be aware of that. We bring out Frostlass, double effective to to that. Doesn't really matter in this case. And we'll see what he brings out. He's waiting to bring out his Lucario. So here we go. We're not doing super effective. He is doing actually not super effective to us either. I shouldn't have blocked the first power-up punch. I could have withstood one since it is reduced damage, but we hit the Shadow Ball since he has no shields left. No problem there. This is maybe a Shadow Ball here because of how much energy he already had. And it is. So, but we've got Charizard. We can hit some Dragon Claws real quick. And here he made a mistake. He should have just saved up for the Shadow Ball instead of hitting a Bone Club there, because Bone Club's not going to do anything since it's a ground move to us. So he is going to go down to Dragon Claw. And he was trying to get to Shadow Ball, I'm sure, there. So definitely a close match. And that did... last there did cost him that one. So very close though, very good. And we're gonna lead with Lucario again, it looks like, in the next one, and see how that goes, since we led with Steelix in the last one. And once again we go up against Altaria. Not a good matchup for us, but we can, it's a winnable matchup for Lucario, but we're gonna switch out of there because there's so many shields left that we just need to. He's gonna hit us. This is it's actually a Dragon Pulse, which, okay. A little bit of an energy waste there, so we know he doesn't have much. And now he comes in with Steelix. We hit an Earthquake because we might be able to, he might not use a shield, and he didn't, because we've been baiting shields out a little bit. So definitely a good thing for us. We do not shield that because it wasn't enough time. He didn't have Earthquake ready. And we hit a Crunch here. If he shields or not, it doesn't really matter. So he goes down. Both of us have 2 shields left, and he's down a Mon compared to me. But I'm, you know, my Steelix was, yeah, there you go, 1 or 2 counters away from Lucario beating it. We bring in Charizard. Once again, I didn't need to block that first power-up punch. That was a mistake on my part. And he switches out to Altaria, so we hit a Dragon Claw. We built up quite a bit of energy, so, and we have another one ready, or pretty close. Let's see, we do shield here to save our Charizard. We need it for the Lucario matchup. We hit another Dragon Claw. He uses his last shields. We then, I believe we switch here. We do to our Lucario and hit Shadow Ball right away because shields are down. We already had energy on the Lucario. Excellent move there on my part, and actually Lucario takes down the other Lucario with no problem there. So definitely a solid choice there to switch out. Alright, so we're jumping into the next round of matches here against 88 Mo Money, and we actually, our first match didn't record and half of this match didn't either. So first match we led with Lucario versus Bastiodon. We had a pretty good match there, and I did end up victorious. We go into the second match here, and we're going Bastiodon versus Steelix right now. We've already lost 1 Mon apiece and no shields remaining. He brings out Flygon to absorb this Earthquake. Good move on his part, obviously, to absorb that and get some damage off on my Steelix. Which does play into this here in a little bit. And now what I could have done here is swapped to my second Mon, which was Frostlass, and absorbed this Flamethrower, and then maybe come back and tried to battle against this. We do get a Shadow Ball off here, which does do some damage, quite a bit actually, to him. It's a neutral hit. So there you can see we did quite a bit, but it's just not enough to take him down. And he hits a Flamethrower, we're dead. And that is the end of that, or yeah, that's the end of that match. So definitely could have used some switches there a little bit better. We did lead with Lucario again, which did cause us problems. The Lucario lead is risky, but it pays off if you get a good quality lead matchup there. So we're going to lead with Steelix this time. Steelix, and then Charizard, and then bring Lucario in the back there. see if this works out better. Obviously, I should have changed my lineup a little more. He knew I led with Steelix last time, so why did I do it again? I don't know. But there we go. So we swap in. He's going to hit a power-up punch. Obviously, don't need to block it there, you can see. And he's going to bring out Bastiodon. At this point, I am stuck with Charizard, and we don't get off a charge move, which is a problem because we could have at least done a little bit of damage. We'll wait out the clock a little bit and bring out Lucario. Then we're going to block this, a flamethrower. Oh, it's a Stone Edge, okay. And we're going to hit a power-up punch. He's going to block it, I'm sure. Let's see how many... he's got one shield. Both of us have one shield remaining, so there we go. We got him down, and then we can go in and Altaria. We could have waited, but I wanted to... We get the power-up punch pretty quick, and then we can go and hit a Shadow Ball, possibly. Obviously, he knows that's what's coming. And we do shield his Sky Attack to keep our Lucario alive. We hit another power-up punch, and he uses his last shield. So, good on us. And we are able to hit another power-up punch. Because I didn't think we would get to our Shadow Ball in time. So, may not get to much here. There we go. Lucario versus Steelix. And you can see Steelix is going down pretty quick, and he's already to a power-up punch. So that's going to be GG on that one. And the issue there was he was using Bastiodon and Lucario, and I've got Blaziken on my team. I don't know why I didn't bring it, but that's definitely something I could have done to change that, because obviously my Steelix, while it was good against Bastiodon, it's not good against Lucario. So definitely had some issues. I could have swapped Charizard out for Blaziken and probably done better. Alright, so now we are 1-1 in this tournament. Jumping into the next round, we're going a bit against Deadpool, Altaria, Skarmory, and then Empoleon is one I want to watch for, and Alolan Ninetales. So once again, we're going, looks like Steelix is the lead, Charizard, Lucario. You may notice a pattern here. I'm very comfortable with this team, and just switching some of the matchups around seems to help quite a bit. So I haven't went up against the Skarmory in this cup, so I kind of wanted to see what Steelix would do against it. Obviously, if I can get some shields from him, there's one shield down. I don't need to block Sky Attack. It doesn't do a whole lot to me. So there you go. And we're still... I mean, he's definitely doing damage to us, but it's not enough to really... to worry about. So there we got a crunch off, and he's going to hit us with another Sky Attack. Actually, it's a Brave Bird, so he's got two moves on it. It's Brave Bird and Sky Attack. Brave Bird is just a lot more energy. So here we go. We hit an Earthquake just because I wanted to try it. I know it's not going to do a ton, but it does a lot more, and we were almost dead anyways. So definitely, we saved our two shields. He's pretty much gone. We hit Charizard. This is going to force him to bring out Empoleon, and we can swap immediately to our Lucario and start just dishing out damage. And he cannot... He could have swapped out there, but it was a pretty fast sequence, as you can tell, and his next one is Altaria. So we hit a power-up punch. He blocks it. No shields remain now, and we still have two. I'm honestly not worried. There we go. We get to the Shadow Ball in time, just barely, with our Lucario. So that's going to do a ton. And then Charizard's going to come in to clean up, basically. And already had a Dragon Claw ready. So that's GG for the first game. Definitely a close one there, but the switches that we made were ideal against that. So we're looking at his team again. That Empoleon does give us some problems, and then if he was to bring that Alolan Ninetales, obviously I don't want to bring my Altaria because of that. So Skarmory wasn't too big of an issue. It could cause a, obviously we've got Charizard, we've got Fire Counter, so it's not that big of a deal to us. And so we're gonna run Lucario. I don't know, did I bring Altaria? I couldn't see on there. And then Charizard. So Lucario comes out against Skarmory. So obviously he's going to be doing some damage to us. But we're doing quite a bit with those. And we swap out to Charizard here. and we're going to shield that sky attack because that would do quite a bit to us. And just energy farm here like crazy. The thing is, he could have swapped to something that would have been better, I think. But he did not. I mean, switching to Empoleon, he had the switch advantage. He should have used it. He just didn't. So actually we hit a Dragon Claw right away, and then we have enough for a Blast Burn, so we hit it. It actually does quite a bit of damage there to Empoleon, and we're able to almost take it down with our Charizard, even though the Waterfall is super effective to us. Definitely good use of Charizard there. We take down his Empoleon, and it is Altaria that is coming back. And we get his last shield down, and we're going to go for a Shadow Ball here. If we can get to it. There we go. We got to it. No shields. This is going to do a ton of damage because we already hit a power-up punch, I think. And there we go. He's going to knock us out here, and we bring in our Steelix. We did bring Steelix in the back, so not an issue. That's why I let it feign instead. I wasn't too worried about blocking that last move. The new Steelix was there in the back. Good match there. We are 2-1. And now here we go against Penguin Taco. He's got a Dragonair, Combuskin, and a Mamoswine. So definitely a different group here that I haven't went up a whole lot against these. Combuskin's an interesting one. This trainer, he's done one other Kingdom Cup tournament, but hasn't done any of the previous months, so this is his first time coming out. Definitely a good opponent here. He swaps immediately from Mamoswine to Lucario, so then I have switch advantage. One thing I'm going to tell y'all is, if you're switching, just know that those people are going to, if you give them switch advantage, they're probably going to switch into something that hard counters whatever you bring in. So you may not want to do that even if you're in a bad situation. Like, honestly, the Mamoswine versus Steelix isn't a good situation, but I think you put yourself in a worse situation by switching to Lucario, which I can hard counter with some of my team. So definitely something to think in mind whenever you're switching back and forth. Now I have 2 shields and he has none, so all of these are going to go off without any problem. And that is Bulldoze, so that was a good use of a shield there. And we're going to hit Earthquake, which is going to knock out this Mamoswine. And let's see what he brings in. It's Dragonair, so I think I can hit Crunches here and use 1 shield, and I can win. As he's going to hit Aqua Tail, but I think I can hit Crunch, and it's going to do quite a bit against him. I think I've only battled 1 or 2 Dragonairs, so there we go. We hit a Crunch. That does quite a bit, and if he knocks me out, which I get to Crunch there before that, so definitely a victory for us. Dragonair is a good choice in this tournament. It's a good generalist, and with that water move, it is very, very useful. We go into the next match with Lucario, Charizard, Steelix. As you can tell, I like this team. I did use Frostlass. I don't know if I ever used Altaria or Blaziken in any of these. Just spoiler alert, I guess. So here we go against Mamoswine. So he is going to go down very quickly because it's ice. And we hit a power-up punch. He's going to let it faint, I believe, because he was going to go down to fast moves anyway, so don't use his shield there. Good move there. He brings out Flygon, which we already have a power-up punch in place, so we're going to hit another power-up punch and get this dude going, and we're going to block everything at this point because we're rolling now. We block that, and we're going to get to another power-up punch. I mean, dude, once Lucario gets rolling, he rolls. Like, he can steamroll a whole team. So let's see what he brings next. Another Lucario. Lucario does take us down, but you can see Lucario took out like 2 and like 2/3 Mons, and we brought out Charizard, and that was GG. That is the end of that. He asked if we could play another round just for fun, and so we did. We bring out our Frostlass, I believe, in this one. So here we go for game 3, just for fun. And we're going to lead with Steelix again. Steelix is a pretty solid lead. It gets crunches fairly quickly, and the Dragon Tail does a lot against a lot of the meta. It is weak, obviously, to fire. Combuskin, he has, I believe, has Ember, and then probably a fighting type move. So we're going to block that, and it's Flame Charge he has on there. I think it has a fighting type move too on it. I don't know. Just in talking with him afterwards, we hit a crunch, not very effective, obviously. And we're going to hit another crunch. See if he does block that one. So we may go down here to charge moves. Oh, he actually uses another charge move. So definitely a mistake there to use Flame Charge. I think I would have went down to just Embers. And he did admit that later on after the match that he shouldn't have used that, because he could have hit it against Lucario and I would have been forced to use a shield. His Lucario is going to take me down, I believe, because I'm going to have, there's Power Up Punch. He blocks it, but mine's going to go down. He has just enough. He should get off a Power Up Punch, though, first thing. I don't have to block that, really. I don't think. But he will go down here to an Avalanche, because I should have saved that shield. Obviously, there's the Power Up Punch. It's not very effective. I should have saved it for later on in this match for either the second Power Up Punch or for the next Mon that comes out, which is actually Flygon. So I'm in a good situation here. As long as I get to Avalanche, I will win. And there's the Avalanche, and bye-bye Flygon, who is double weak to Frostlass ice moves. So GG there. All right, so here we go into the last round here against Sergio. We've got Altaria, Steelix, Alolan Marowak, Lapras, Lucario, and Frostlass. So, I mean, looking at that, I kind of know he's probably not running ice moves on his Lapras, at least fast ice moves, since he has a Frostlass, but we'll see what happens. We select Lucario, Charizard, Steelix as our first round. We'll see how that goes. Lucario goes out against Frostlass. Not a great situation for us here. Depending on shield usage, I mean, we can win if we get to the moves quicker. We are going to have to shield. It is a Shadow Ball. You can see how quickly it gets to Shadow Ball versus where we were in our energy gain. So he does block that, because obviously it could have been, and he's going to get to his next move fairly quickly, and this, if I don't block it, it might take me out. It doesn't quite take me out, and I do get to a Shadow Ball, so good on us there, and he doesn't block it. But we don't have a lot of health left depending on what he brings out. It's Marowak. It does take us down. And it is a Hex Marowak. So kind of lagged there for a second, but we're back in it now. So there, he's going to hit a Bone Club. And not going to do a whole lot to us. Bone Club is just a low power move. So here's a Crunch. He's going to have to block it, because that would be super effective to him. He's swapping out now to Lucario. We can swap in our Charizard. We shield. Once again, not necessary there. Waste of a shield. Definitely should have stopped blocking those power-up punches when I knew that's what it was. Because the second one is actually the one I need to block, because it does quite a bit more. So here we go. We just hit Blast Burn right off the bat against Marowak. Not super effective, but does a ton of damage. And this should be a Bone Club, and might, nope, not quite take us out. So we do go down, but very close match there, and Steelix will finish this with a Crunch. And that's GG for the first game. We're up 1-0. A good match there, definitely. I know him, battled against him in a previous tournament, so he'll definitely make some adjustments. So we'll need to make our own. And honestly, I don't feel like I did a very good job of adjusting, because I kind of just kept the same team, and that may have been a mistake on my part. You can see in this match, it's very close. and the shields matter. And that's part of it. I've been wasting shields. So we go Steelix, the mirror match here. We're going to build up energy all the way to Earthquake. And then we're going to hit Crunch to bait that shield. Obviously, we bait the shield, and then he's going to come back with his. And I'm thinking, okay, there's not a chance he's going to hit Earthquake, and he does. So, bad move on my part there, because that puts me in a bad position now. So we bring out, we're going to wait here for a second. I'm trying to decide what to bring out. So we bring out Lucario. We're going to have to use a shield right away. It's a Crunch. And we're going to hit another, and he saved up enough energy to have another one already ready to go. So we had to use 2 shields there on Lucario. Whereas if we would have used a shield on Steelix, we could have taken down his Steelix, because I would have had the energy advantage. He brings in Lucario or Altaria, so we hit the Shadow Ball. It does go through. He didn't use his last shield, and so he does go down there to Lucario. Good spot we're in right now. We hit Power Up Punch, and that takes out, he uses his last shield. So now here's the thing, he's got quite a bit of energy built up, and he's gonna go for Shadow Ball and just barely gets it off. And since we don't have a shield left, we lose. So there you go, Lucario just beat Charizard. And so that was a very close match. Literally 2 HP there would have made the difference. One more Fire Spin would have won us that. So we go into the next game. We lead Lucario, Charizard, Steelix. Definitely. Obviously, we could have done something else. I'm very comfortable with this team. So we go Lucario. We'll just see who wins this. And we do get a power-up punch. It's not going to matter. He probably just he lets his Lucario faint. And we get off a couple counters, or 1 or 2 counters before we go down to that. And so we bring out Steelix. Steelix is a solid answer here for Frostlass. And Avalanche. And we can just hit Crunches now. We are going to have to spend a shield. Probably. He swaps out to Lapras, so that is a problem for us. We try to swap out and it doesn't allow us to. So we go into Charizard. What may have been better there was to bring Charizard against Frostlass instead of Steelix and save the Steelix. The problem was with the Lapras, we just don't have any answers really to it, but our Blast Burn could have done quite a bit to it, and then bring out Steelix in the back. So definitely disappointing there, because he's going to get off another Surf here, and that's going to be the end of us. That's the end of our tournament. We finish 3-2 with this squad. Good games all around from everybody. Definitely a fun tournament, a fun format, and definitely some mistakes that I made with my team, and just things that I could have done better there. And you can kind of see my shield usage was poor with Charizard sometimes, and then other times Charizard was just the MVP. Some of those matches, being able to farm that energy and be ready for a double Dragon Claw or Dragon Claw Blast Burn really paid off there in the end. So thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you guys would, leave a comment below. I want to add some people on to my PvP friends list, and I'm going to select a couple people from this video to add them onto that. So make sure you guys comment below that you want to be added, and I'll randomly select a couple people. Thanks again, guys.